So the one of the most basic part of your syllabus is your OSI reference model. Okay, so it is a reference model. Reference model, it means that whatever is defined inside this model is a part of all your module. Okay, so as OSI model consists of 7 layers. Okay, so I'll talk about it, these 7 layers. First of all, understand that me as a network engineer or a network architecture expert tries to do a pretty good job that the users are not aware of the complexities. Okay, so suppose you are a computer engineer, and what you do in every coding thing, you always try to design the interface so simple that the users are not aware of the complexities. Okay, so most of the time the user interface is designed in such a way that a 4 year or that a 2 year old child can easily operate a simple app. Okay, so based on these things, suppose actually the communication that is taking place in this was that there is a client or a host. Okay, so I'll told you about this in the previous lecture. There is a client or a host, and there is some kind of a network exist, and from this network we are able to talk to a server. So this is just a basic line, but uh, we do not want the user or the end user to know that there is some kind of a network and their packet is going outside uh, their home or outside their computer, and they are returning hundreds and thousands of miles towards for getting a response. Okay, so if the user is aware of that complexities, the user experience become a little bit not well. Okay, so that is why when you do a communication, it seems like that the client and server are based in the same network. Okay, so because the response is very instantaneous. Okay, so when you type www.google.com, it returns it so quickly that you do not think about that the packet is traveled like thousands of mile into other country, and the response is returning from other country. So you do not think about that. Okay, so OSI model provides a layer of abstraction. Okay, so if you remember what exactly abstraction is, so abstraction is a concept that hides the complexity of the system from the users. Okay, so it suppose this is a user, a client or a host. It is he or she is not aware of the complexities of the system, that how a particular packet is traveling to which particular network and how it is returning. We do not want that, because I do not want any user to know how the complexities of the system and how the networking is going to work. So client is thinking that he's just pushed a button, and he just got the output. Okay, so I do not want them to know about the complexities of the system. So there, this particular abstraction, this layer of abstraction is provided by your OSI reference model. Okay, so it is also called as OSI reference model. It is also called as ISO OSI reference model. Okay, so it is again a very ideal model. I want to call it that ideal model. Okay, so because most of the functionalities that is defined in this model are very ideal. They are not all used in the current networks, but we are trying to use all the functionalities that are already defined in this reference model. Okay, so there are again, it is just a network architecture. It is just a proposed network architecture, I want to call it. And most of the time, if you are a network engineer, you will try to follow this kind of approach that is already defined in it. Okay, so aside from this, there are other architectures also aside from ISO OSI model. There are other architectures also, that is your TCP/IP. That is this is the architecture that is very closer to reality, because we employ these kind of architecture now. This I'll also discuss about this part. And now there is another architecture that is completely different from this one. So this is again a totally different subject. Okay, so it's ATM is totally a different subject, so I do not want to talk about this one. There is another architecture like X.25, and there are another architecture that are based on very recent IEEE standards. Okay, okay. So yeah. So these are various kind of architecture. The first two architecture I'll discuss in detail, because if you understand the first architecture, the second architecture is based on the first architecture. Okay, so there is very little difference between these two. This is totally a different thing. This is totally a different subject. Now you are understanding that if you studied your syllabus, if you have seen your syllabus of see, and you have I want to tell you that all the modules that is present inside the syllabus are a part of the layers that is given in ISO OSI reference model. Okay, so why I'm telling you that ATM is totally a different subject, because again it is based on different layers, and on these layers there is a totally different functionality from the ones that we are going to discuss in computer networks. Okay, so that is why I'm solely concentrating on this ISO OSI model. There are 7 layers, and each layer contains a specific function. Each layer contains a specific function that is given in your every module. Okay, so if you seen the syllabus, you will understand it. Okay, so I'll just start with it. So opens the full form of OSI is Open System Interconnection. Okay, so it is also referred to as ISO OSI. So ISO means International Standard Organization. So it's I think you know about this. So ISO is a standard providing organization that provides standard to different. If you are studying software engineering, also you will find ISO 900, ISO 9000, these kind of a standard in this. Okay, so it is just international standard that is followed by everyone around the world for a basic networking. Okay, so the first network that was established was, if you heard about it, that was ARPANET. Okay, so ARPANET is the first known network uh, that is established by the DoD, Department of Defense in America. Okay, so that was the first known network that was ever comes into play, and it was in the year 1968. Okay, so firstly, when we the first network was based, there was no such kind of a rule follows. There is nothing like this. Okay, so they just connected wires and tried to communicate with two devices, and that particularly was this particular networks were very uh, was not very effective, because at that time there was not many devices. There are only 4 or 5 devices, so there is no such kind of a rule established for communication. Okay, so just they take a wire and they just start communicating with two different devices. But nowadays, because there are so many devices comes into play, there are so hundreds and thousands and billions and millions of devices that are connected through the internet. So we have to establish a standard, so that every device is following a particular standard, and every devices are following a particular standard of communication. So that is why this OSI reference model comes into existence. Okay, so this is again internationally renowned. In this is an abstract description. Abstract means that it provides the abstraction. Okay, so the user is not aware of the functionality that is going around in each and every layer. Okay, so the layer that are defined here from top to bottom are application, session, transport, network, data link, and physical layer. Okay, so these are 7 layers. So just I show you the. Okay, so just remember this, there are 7 layers, and we will discuss each and every layer very deeply. Okay, so the first layer, that is a physical layer. The physical layer is just deals with physical equipment like different kind of wires, different kind of routers, different kind of gateways. Okay, so I'll talk about these. Don't worry about that. Okay, So physical layer deals with physical components like wires, router, gateways, and any other thing that comes that is used for communication. Okay, so this is solely a hardware part. Okay, so this is solely a hardware part. There is nothing software going in it. But in this particular data link layer, there is a part of a hardware as well as there is a part of a software. Okay, so I'll concentrate on this particular part. I'll tell you about this one also because there are some kind of encoding schemes are going on. Okay, so I'll tell you about this encoding schemes also, but most probably I will deeply focus on the software part. Okay, so how exactly the communication and how exactly the packet and frames are going to be done in this particular layer. Okay, so the third part is this third and fourth part. Okay, so this transport layer is a very thick layer because it has a very it contains a uh, very large amount of applications. Okay, so there are routing, there are securities also going on in here. So there are many things, there are many functions that are going in the transport layer. So that is why it is referred to as a thick layer. And networking layer is mostly used for routing. Okay, so routing means that which path to follow. Okay, suppose you are standing at here, so your computer is connected to this router, and in the path there are many routers. Okay, so suppose this is there, and okay, so when you are standing at this router, there are one, two, three paths to follow. Which path is the best one for the packet to reach very quickly? Uh, you have to verify that, and then you have to send at this particular path, and then again you have to again select from this particular path which is the best path to follow. Okay, so that particular thing is decided in the network layer. Okay, so these three and fourth layer are basically your whole syllabus. Okay, so this is mostly based with your software. There are many functions that are related to this network layer and transport layer, and this will be discussed in quite a bit of detail. Okay, so 5, 6, and 7th layer are used for, they are basically for user convenience. Okay, so they are basically for user convenience. Again, if you want added functionality, you can use these 5, 6, and 7 layers, but if there is no compulsion to it, if you want it you can, but if you do not want it, there is no need to use particular these three layers. Okay, so that is why I'm calling this OSI model as a ideal model. Okay, so but now if you seeing that most of the time the application layer, the presentation layer, and the session layer are mostly implemented, because if you see the presentation or application, these particular layers provides encryption decryption. So encryption decryption means that if you see in your WhatsApp, there is something called end-to-end encryption. It means that nobody when your data is encrypted, nobody is able to read your data. Okay, so that is why these kind of functionalities are very important nowadays, because as the communication is growing, we tend to use these particular kind of layers, that encryption decryption, the dialog control of all of the functional components of the user that provides convenience to the user is defined in these three layers. Okay, so I'll also discuss about that, but the most important part of your syllabus is your transport layer and your network layer, because it contains so much functionality that I'll talk about it. Okay, so talking about the first layer, that is your physical layer. Okay, I already told you the physical layer deals with a physical component. Okay, so the physical component look like this. Okay, so again, if you're seeing here, it is just saying that from data link layer towards physical layer, and there is something called a transmission medium. Okay, so the physical layer task is to just take the bits that are coming from the upper layer and encode and just transfer it using a transmission medium. Okay, so this transmission medium can be anything. It can be a wire. The wire can also be divided into various parts, that if you have attended your lab, you have seen it, that in packet tracer there are many kind, there is something, this kind of a sign that exists there. Okay, so This particular kind of a sign represents connection. Okay, so in your first lab assignment you have also have seen. Okay, so in your first lab assignment you also have seen that there is first experiment that says to explore the different kind of wires and different kind of a transmission medium. Okay, so they are only talking about wires. So there are many wires. The most effective wire till now is a fiber optic wire. Okay, so we tend to use this, but it is not a very tough wire. It breaks very easily, but still we use it because the effectiveness of this wire is 100%. Okay, so there is no transmission loss in it, but if the wire is not very tough, it breaks very easily. So there are also many downsides to this particular thing. Okay, so there are many other wires like simple straight through wire, crossover wire. These are the kind of wires that exist there. Okay, apart from this there are also other devices like routers, gateways. Okay, so they are just devices, don't worry about it. I'll discuss these particular devices in detail because it is already mentioned in your syllabus. Okay, so now if you are understanding here, there are 7 layers. Okay, so again it will be I also want to tell you one other point. 5 6 7. Okay, so suppose you are a sender and there is some kind of a receiver that exists here. Okay, so again this receiver will also have these 7 layers, 4 5 6 7. Okay, so when you are a sender you will start from application layer. Okay, just I write it. Okay, just wait for a bit, wait for a second. Okay, okay, sorry for that. And you're saying that when you are a sender, so just I write the names of the layer: PDN TSPA. Again I write it PDN TSPA. Okay, so PD matlab, P means physical layer, data link layer, network layer, transport layer, session layer, presentation layer, and application layer. Okay, so when you are a sender, when you're sending some signals to the receiver, what happens is that you will start from the application layer, you will go to presentation, you will go to session, you will go to transport layer, you will then go to network, then go to data link layer, and then you go to physical layer. So the task of the physical layer is to transfer whatever the sender is wants to send. Okay, so it takes it using the transmission media, it again tries to send it to the receiver. Now see, the receiver when receive it on a physical layer, it will transfer it to the again data link layer, then network layer, then transport, then session, then presentation, then application. Okay, so if you're seeing, when you are a sender you will send the packet from 7 to 1. Okay, so you will start from application layer and the packet will go down, and the chunk of the I do not want to call it a packet because in every particular layer the packet is referred to other name. So I just want that whatever you want to communicate, the chunk of communication, suppose I denoting it as this is here it is written hello. Okay, so the chunk of communication that you want to communicate with the receiver starts from the 7th layer and go towards the first layer, that is your physical layer. And when the receiver is receiving, it will receive the chunk of communication from the first layer, and again it will go towards the 7th layer. After that the receiver will get hands on what you have ever given to, what you have either communicated to the receiver. Okay, so this is a very important point. So if you're seeing here, it is only mentioning from data link layer. Okay, so it is only talking about one layer up. So from data link layer, the physical layer is getting some kind of a data or some kind of a piece of a communication. That this is just again, if you're seeing everything is written here in bits. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Okay, you if you want to write hello. Okay, so it is again there is there the encoding of this is done. Okay, so in certain layers the encoding of this is done. This is from the application layer. When it comes at the data link layer or physical layer, the particular alphabetical thing will be reduced to bits. Okay, so it can be many different bits here. Okay, so at this, okay, so every communication that you are seeing here, the computer part, you will see that all the communication between the networks as well as inside the computer is in the form of a binary numbers. Okay, so every communication is based on this. This is 1 and 0. Okay, so still we are following the same structure. If you have studied digital electronics, you would have seen that there are many devices like multiplexing, and there are many other functionalities like multiplexing, switching, or flip flop. They are all using the same thing, that is 1 and 0. Okay, so one, because it is very easy, it is very easy to communicate with 1 and 0. Okay, so if the signal, you just increase, when you want to denote a 0, you just do not as what do I say? You do not increase the. Want to say that you just in a very naive term, I'll say that you just do not. You just off the switch, and when you want to denote one, you just on the switch. Okay, so on the switch means it represents that there is some voltage there. It represents there is no voltage there. Okay, so every communication within the computer or outside the network is also in the form of binary numbers. Okay, so that this is one and the same thing. Okay, so this is very important to
Like
understand.
there was
Okay, so
four
how?
transmissions, what speed?
Okay,
So
okay,
can you go a bit?
hello.
Can you go a bit slow, please?
Okay, so I'm going very slow. I just, okay, so I'll again go a little bit off slow. Okay,
We are
now
not able to understand.
what you are not able to understand, ask me.
So from the start only, we are not able to understand because it's like it's a very fast paced, and after we reach to some particular level, it will be difficult to come back. So please, can you reduce the pace a little so
Just
that we
tell
can
me the
understand?
specific point, na, so I'll repeat that part if you're not understanding it. If you will speak to me, then I only understand that what you are not understanding.
There's not a specific part because we have not done this earlier in any time, so we do not know anything about it, and this is going pretty fast, so we do not know whatever is this.
Yeah, I understand this, that you have not studied earlier. So that is why I'm going very slow. But still, if you're not understanding, you have to speak that in which part that you are not understanding. That will be very difficult for me to pinpoint that particular thing that you are not understanding. Okay. So again, I'll repeat myself. Still now, I have done nothing. I just said there is particularly 3 or 4 reference models here. Okay, so ISO OSI model is the reference model that on which all the communication between devices are taking place. Okay, so ISO OSI is the reference model,
So
and
what is
there
the
are
reference
other
model?
reference. Yes, yes.
What is the reference model?
Reference model is some kind of a rules. Okay, so that governs the communication. Okay, so suppose if you want to communicate, there are 2 devices that you want to communicate. So there exists some kind of a model. Okay, so this model contain 7 layers. In each layer there is some functionality. Okay, so understand this like suppose this is a client. Suppose you want to send a post. Okay, so suppose you want to send a post to a network. Okay, so to just you this is your house, and this is your the house that you want to send a post. Okay, so what you do, you give to post you just push the letter towards a post office. Okay, so what you do, you post the letter towards a post office, and whatever how the letter will reach, you are not aware of it. Okay, so how the letter will reach to the destination, you are not aware of that part. How much planning and how much things are going on here. Okay, so that particular post office is the in this particular context here, the post office is acting as a reference model. Okay, so reference model is an ideal situation in which how the communication between two devices, okay, so this is one device, this is second devices, is taking place. Okay, so you are not aware of the functionalities that what is going inside the reference model, but you just know that you just go and post the letter to the post office, and the post office automatically delivers the letters to the desired destination. Okay, so you are not aware of this particular part. Okay, so how the planning, how the post reaches to a particular destination, you do not want any part of it. Okay, so now because you are studying computer networks here, so it means that you are employee of the post office. Okay, so now you have to understand that how exactly the post is distributed to a particular destination, how exactly the post is reaching to a particular network. Okay, so that is your OSI reference model. You have to understand this because you want to work in a post office. So that is again the same context. You have to understand ISO OSI if you want to work in a networking companies. That is most
Sir,
probably accessible. Okay,
sir,
now you
Uh,
understand. Mhm.
sir, what is
yes,
the
just what I understand. So one thing, one request I have. So when
Mhm.
you're writing this, please can you write it like order wise, because if it's like everywhere in the page, then later we cannot revise from this.
Yes, you can revise from this if you are watching a video. Okay, so
So, but
that's
then if it's order wise, then it would be much easier to understand for us.
how. Okay, so I'll try to write order wise. Okay, so I'll try to write order wise. What I'll do, I'll not do not write anything on the PPT. I'll try to write on a totally different thing so that you will understand. Okay,
Okay, sir.
any other thing, if you do not understand it, just let me know. Okay. Okay, so these are some uh, these are the working of the layers. Okay, so there are different part of the layers. The first part is a physical layer, the second part is a data link layer, third part is network layer, transport layer. So don't worry about this, these are just name of the layers. Okay, so these are just name of the layers. We have to study each and every layer individually. Okay, so don't worry about it. You do not have to remember the names also, because when we are doing a particular task, I will tell you about it, that what exactly is this particular part doing. Okay, so I have just told about that this particularly physical layer deals with the hardware component. Okay, so the in hardware components there are something called wires, routers, gateways. Okay, so don't worry about that what is a wire, what is a router, because we will discuss this part very in a detailed manner. Okay, so just understand that these are some kind of a hardware things. Okay, the second part of the layer is a data link layer. Okay, so it deals with hardware also, it deals with software also, but because we are studying computer networks and it is related to the computer and we are studying it in computer science, so I will give a little bit of more stress on the software part rather than hardware. Okay, so there are various kind of encoding. I will tell you all the encoding scheme, but in software part I will tell you more things about it also. Okay, so the third thing is network layer. So what is routing is, I will, when I come to this layer, you will understand what is routing. Okay, so this is just a simple example to understand what exactly is a routing. Okay, so routing means that when you are because I already told you that there is a communication between these two devices. Okay, so when your packet want to goes from this to this is not a single path that you will follow, because in the path there are various kind of paths exist. Okay, so if you are at here, suppose you will communicate with this routers also, there are also routers, there are also wires also. So what you do, there are many paths exist between your source and the receiver, okay, between your sender and the receiver, to which path to follow, which path will result in the least amount of time to reach to the receiver is the thing that is decided in network layer, and that particular step is referred to as routing. Okay, so the fourth layer is transport layer. This is a very thick layer because it contains many applications, or what do you call it, many functions. Okay, so that is why I'm referring to it as a thick layer. Okay, so both of these layers are basically based on the software part. There is no hardware component attached to it. The hardware component is only in the first two layers. Okay, the okay, so now the fifth, sixth and seventh layer are are for the user convenience. Okay, so if you see, fifth to seventh layer are related to the user applications. Okay, so user applications means that if you provide extra functionality between the communication, so suppose there is a sender and there is a receiver, and you want that your communication should be secure. Okay, so for that secure, you require encryption and decryption. Okay, so suppose right now that you have seen that there is in WhatsApp, there is something called end-to-end encryption. Okay, so how this end-to-end encryption is taking place, because they are using their the application of presentation layer. Okay, so in presentation layer there is a functionality of encryption. So end-to-end encryption is a part of presentation layer. Okay, so these are the various kind of, what do I want to say, that these are the various kinds of layers, that each layer performs a different function in each communication. Okay, so if I just want to say that if you are a sender, you want to send some message to a receiver, what do you do? You go through from 7 to 1, you will go through all the layers. Okay, so if you want to send some message, okay, so this is your message. This message will be transferred first to application layer, then it will be transferred to your presentation layer, then it will be transferred to your session layer, then it will be transferred to your transport layer, then it will be transferred to your network layer, then it will be transferred to your data link layer, and then it will be transferred to your physical layer. Okay, so if you see, this is a physical layer. The task of the physical layer is to transfer the communication, that like this hello. Okay, so I'll just write it on another notepad. Okay, so suppose,
Sir,
yes.
sir, what is the functionality of session layer?
Okay, so session layer is suppose when you do, I'll tell you about it. So suppose that when you give exams, okay, so when you give exams, the exam length is like 3 hours. Okay, so when you log in, you will see there will be session, the session is on. Okay, so there is some command, don't worry about it. The session is on means that till when you do not log out, till when, suppose you starting at 8 a.m. and you will log out at around 11 a.m. Okay, so till then, when you do not log out, to maintain the same communication. Okay, so what happens is that when you are doing a communication, sometimes you have seen you got out of session. Okay, so the task of the session layers is to ensure that whenever you are logged in, you just automatically does not log out. Okay, so in sometimes you have seen suppose in Facebook also, when you are like logged in for like 12 or 24 hours, it automatically logs out. Okay, so it means that it cuts off your session, because to maintain a session there are many there are behind there are many functionalities that we have to do. Okay, so there is something in a packet called time to live, TTL. Okay, so this particular field is given to the packet. Okay, so if for maintaining the session for a longer amount of time, this time to live is increased to like 3 hours or 2 hours. Okay, so that is the sole task of the session layer. I will also tell you other parts of it. Okay, so again, when you are doing a communication, this is you, your sender, and this is you the receiver. Okay, so this is another receiver. So whenever, this is a very important point to understand. Okay, so this OSI model is just like a layer of abstraction. Okay, so you are not aware of it. Now this OSI model exists both for the sender as well as for the receiver. Okay, so when you are a sender, your message will start from here. Okay, so suppose the message is HE. Okay, so this HE message will be transferred first to application layer, and then it will go from the 7th layer to the first layer, that is your physical layer. And physical layer, what the task of the physical layer is to physically transfer the message to another layer. Okay, so when it reaches the receiver, now understand this point, which is very important. When it reaches the receiver, it will start from the first layer, that is your physical layer, and it will go until your 7th layer, that is your application layer, and then the receiver will got the message, that is your HE. Okay, so understand this. For a sender, the order of the OSI reference model is 7 to 1, but for the receiver, the order of the OSI reference model is 1 to 7. Okay, so this is very important point to understand. Now if you see in the next, now I will individually discuss each and every layer. Now you're seeing here, this is a physical layer. Now I am only talking about the physical layer. If you're seeing here, the physical layer, here it is written from data link layer to data link layer. Okay, so if you are understanding here, I'll again go back to it. Now just wait for a second. Okay, so just wait a second. So what I'll do, I'll take this photo if it is possible. Okay, so now see this particular diagram, what exactly it is happening here. It is only talking about then when you are at the second layer and when you are going towards the first layer. Okay, so because we are only talking about physical layer, it is not talking about all the other layers that are also there, that is third layer, fourth layer, up to 7th layer. Okay, so do not confuse this. Okay, so it is saying that whenever whatever you receive from the data link layer, it is transferred to the physical layer, and the physical layer just take a transmission medium. Okay, so what is the meaning of a transmission medium? Transmission medium is anything that you use to transfer your message. Okay, so this can be a simple wire, this can be a simple router, also it can be a simple gateway. Okay, so if you do not understand this, what is a router, what is a gateway? So router, if you have an internet connection in your home, something box like is placed. Okay, so that box is called your router. Okay, so that router also provide you a wireless signal. Okay, so this is a kind of a shape that will be there. Okay, so this is a router. Gateway, don't worry about it, I will discuss it in when we are talking about physical devices that occur in physical layers. Okay, so transmission medium, I'm just thinking that it's a wire, I'm assuming that it's a wire. It takes the bits from the physical layer, from the wire it transfer it to the sender. Oh, sorry, it's the receiver, it's a sender. Okay, so now when it reaches at the receiver, you are seeing that it is again going towards the 7th layer. Okay, so this is the second layer, this is the first layer, this is third, fourth, up to 7th layer. It will go up to 7th layer. Here the diagram is only showing data link layer because we are individually studying the physical. Okay, so understand this point. Okay, so now what is the task of physical layer? Okay, so the task here is written very clearly: physical characteristics of the interface and medium. It is only talking about what the transmission medium is, like wires and other things. Okay, representation of bits. Okay, so what exactly physical layer do? It just represent, it just take the bits from data link layer, it takes the bit from data link layer and add some part to it, and it just transfer the bits to other, it just transfer the bits using the wires to the receiver. It is just saying it just streams of bits, zeros or one, with no interpretation and encoding into signal. Okay, so it does not do anything. It just takes the bits that are coming from the data link layer and it just puts these bits into a wire. Okay, so from wire it is just transferred to another receiver wherever you want to transfer. Okay, so this particular transfer rate depends upon the data rate. Okay, so data rate will be like if you have a net, your speed is like 10 Mbps, your speed is like 100 Mbps. Okay, so this data rate is the speed that it decides that how fast these bits, that zeros and ones, will take place. Okay, so how fast these particular bits will go. And fourth is synchronization of bits. Okay, so synchronization means that when I send a signal, suppose this is also a very important part. Understand this part. Uh, so again, don't worry about it. I know that you have not studied this subject, but the things that I'm telling you, it's just a starting of it. Okay. So I'll again go very deep into those things again and again and again. So don't worry about it. Okay. So I'll just, if you revise it, it will be very easy for you. I know that it will be a difficult from the starting, but first if you get the hang of it, it's a very interesting and it's a very easy subject. Okay, so I'll assure you that. Again, do not worry if you are not understanding. Do not fear to talk. I will repeat each and everything. I am with you. Okay, so I hope that you are understanding. I will go as slow as you want, but just keep in mind that when you are studying a subject, so study it with the what do you say, study it with joy. Okay, so if it is a burden, I don't think that you will be you will try to understand. Okay, so always try to study it, enjoy that you are learning something new. Okay, so what exactly is the synchronization of bits? Suppose you send the message at 8:40 a.m. from a sender to a receiver. Okay, so I definitely know that my message will deliver at 8:41 a.m. Okay, so I definitely know that my message will receive at 8:41 a.m. and I will get a acknowledgement around 8:42 a.m. It is just a imaginary scenario. It does not take that long, because if you press www.google.com, it loads instantly. Okay, so it does not take 2 minutes to load it. Okay, so I'm just taking example. Okay, so what is the synchronization means? That this machine understand that maximum. Okay, so this particular thing is acknowledgement. What is the acknowledgement? Acknowledgement means that suppose I think I how do we say it? What is acknowledgement? Okay, so I take example, real life example, like a day earlier, what happened is that there are some students that have filled a particular open elective subject. Okay, so they did not got into a particular subject they require. So what they do is they fill up the open elective form again, and they are again sending an email to a concerned person. Okay, so in that case, that will be our program coordinator. But the program coordinator is not returning any back message to do that he has received, he has seen the mail, and he is enrolling you into a particular elective that you have selected. So what happens is that most of the student is calling me to just be ensure that the program coordinator has seen their mail. Okay, so they are using me for acknowledgement. What is acknowledgement? That you have sent the message, but you want to know that the message is received. Okay, so in the same way here, when you send a message from sender to receiver, this sender has to know that the message has received or not. If the message is not received, it will again send it. Okay, so that is how synchronization works. What is a synchronization? That synchronization is when you send a message from a sender to a receiver, the sender knows that at a particular amount of time, I will receive the acknowledgement by then. If the acknowledgement is not received by then, I will again send the message. Okay, so this is the synchronization between sender and receiver. They are just a well-oiled machine that they know that they will get that they will get the message. Okay, so if this kind of a synchronization between the sender and receiver does not exist, it will take a large amount of time. Also, the communication will not be very effective. So suppose some packets are lost, also your communication is lost on the way. If the acknowledgement is not come, it will take a lot of amount of time. Okay, so the synchronization of bits is that your sender and receiver clock must be synchronized. Okay, so synchronized means that if I send the packet at 8:40 a.m., I know that I at 8:41 a.m., at most 8:41 a.m. it will receive to the receiver, and the receiver will send at most at 8:42 a.m. will send me the acknowledgement that I have received the message. Okay, so another thing is line configuration. This is point to point and point to multi-point. This is just nothing. It just says that when you are transferring a message, okay, so it can be from one router to another router, but it can also be like from one router to many routers. Okay, so this particular thing is referred to as a flooding. Okay, so it is also referred to as broadcasting. Okay, so broadcasting means what exactly is a broadcasting? Like your news channel, they are broadcasting. Broadcasting means they are sending the news to everybody. Okay, so it is irrespective that they want to watch or not, but they are sending the news to everybody. Okay, so that is broadcasting. Okay, so the communication depends upon the configuration. Okay, so the configuration can be point to point, means that you want to send to a particular receiver. Suppose the receiver is given this number. You want to send this the message to a particular receiver. So there will be a one to one transfer. There will be a one to one line for transfer. Okay, so for communication there will be only a one to one line, but if you want to send the message to multiple receivers, okay, so that will be one point to multiple point. Okay, so that is your line configuration. Okay, so it depends upon it. Okay, so it depends upon the topology that we set. Okay, so topology, I'll explain it. It's a different topic, don't worry about it. Okay, so the transmission mode is simplex. Okay, so again, yes.
So time's up.
Okay, so time's up. Okay, so you can move on to the other lecture. Okay, so thank you for listening. You can move on to the other lecture. And other thing that your every lecture is recorded. I'll try to maintain a YouTube playlist of these lectures for this particular group.